Now we come to my favorite room in the whole building, W7.5. Let's see what's in here. This is our basement storage room. Whole bunch of antiquated, most of it high power stuff, high voltage, high current, that kind of stuff is down here, since it is right next door to the power lab. The name W7.5 is something that I actually gave it when I first started working here. The nameplate above the door didn't have anything, and it's right next to room W7. But it didn't. Probably should have called it W7A, like a normal naming convention. But I chose to just give it a half at the end of it there, and the local student newspaper took note of it one particular day in 2010. And they posted a photo of it in their newspaper, just because it's weird. Now this room has usually been partitioned, well, it's always been partitioned into two sections. This one is recently cleared out, I think last night or the day before. This used to have a whole bunch of mops and cleaning equipment and the spinning scrubber things that get pushed down the hall to scrub the floor. It's all cleared out now in preparation for the move, and this room is going to be converted into something else. The other half of it, blocked off with this nice plywood gate right here, is the electrical engineering portion of the room. That's just an empty cabinet, box of extra patch cables for that big patch panel that we saw in the power lab. And I'll just go through the racks right here. This one is a bunch of motors and some really nice Weston current transformers. Definitely going to hold on to these just for their historical value. And got some, let's see, what is this? Oh, here we go. Standard Transformer Company. Another big old current transformer. This rack here is just a mix of mostly inductors, I guess. Got a few relays. This old thing from the 60s. This is like a time delay relay where you would activate the coil, and which way does it go? Yeah, there we go. You activate the coil, and then that's how it goes. So the first one switches right then there's a 2 or 3 second delay for the next switch to go. So that would be, that would have use in starting motors, like where you got to have a starting capacitor during the start cycle, but once the motor gets going, then you don't need that capacitor in the circuit anymore. Some big old spotlights, huge light bulbs in here. Could be used as dummy loads. Like this one is, I think, aircraft landing light. The one in this box is 250 watts, but this one in my hand is rated 450 watts. Just look at the huge filament. See if I can get the camera angle right. There you can see the filament inside there. And only 28 volts, 450 watts. On this rack here we got a bunch of oil-filled capacitors. Definitely going to get rid of these pretty soon. There's no telling what kind of carcinogens are inside these things. And we got some higher voltage AC capacitors down here. I think these down here, these are 13 microfarad and 1000 volts AC is what they're rated for each. And they're all mounted on the, sorry, I got the camera on a tripod right now, so I can't get down real low and level. So you can see how they're mounted on these racks. So this rack here has a bunch of SCRs on it, mounted on these huge ass heat sinks. Even got some hockey puck SCRs in here sandwiched between these heat sinks. Really awesome stuff. Got some old watt-hour meters. Gonna keep a few of these for posterity, of course. These are all the old-fashioned electromechanical type. Certainly don't make them like that anymore. Then we got some more three-phase, huge three-phase transformer. Look at this beast. Here's another three-phase transformer, and this one over here, I think it's another, General Electric current transformer for measuring up to 200 amps, 200 to 5 ratio. on these two big ass terminals right here. That's where you put your input current, and then depending on how you have the taps set up, then you can get all these different current ratios for the input to output ratio. Then here, up in this cardboard box, just a bunch of low power and low speed, high torque AC motors. Probably just given to us by somebody a long time ago. I don't know. There's so much stuff that we have that really has no immediate use, and probably be getting rid of a lot of these things, since other things I would certainly want to keep, like these huge stepper motors. Those might come in handy for some kind of CNC milling project that a student might do. There's also this thing right here. Oops. I want to get this thing hooked up and make it one of my Ghetto demo apparatus. And I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a motor, or if it's just a three-phase demonstration where you just put the three-phase in here plus a neutral, and then you can spin this and see how the light bulb changes intensity as you rotate it through a full 360. Or it might be a simple demonstration of a motor. I don't know if it would spin on its own. I'll have to find out one of these days. And just a bunch of other transformers, high power stuff. Got some DC motors right there, and also inside those cardboard boxes in the back. There's some more high power DC motors like we saw inside the Power Lab. Some old electromechanical relays up there. Those would be very sensitive type, where it takes a very specific amount of current or voltage or power to trip the relay. Let's come back over here and start on this end. So just a bunch of current transformers. There's some more current transformers on the bottom. Some filters, some iron cores for making your own transformer. Look at that huge ass thing. Heavy stuff. Got a capacitance box here. There's just a whole bunch of different AC capacitors in there, and you can switch them in and out of the circuit to have a variable capacitive load. We've got an inductance, but this has pretty much been gutted. It's completely empty other than the three-phase variac that's up here. And the resistance, the variable resistance, ain't looking too good either. Those things are getting all rusted up inside there. Got some more of these 12-volt output transformer for, I think it's rated 240-volt input, and a couple of 12.5-volt coils on the secondary. Tektronix 575 curve tracer. That's busted, but still going to keep it for spare parts because we have a bunch more of these upstairs. There's some big old magnetron magnets. They're really old magnetron, where you'd have each of these spread apart, of course, and the magnetron between them with north-south going in this direction. I will definitely be holding on to these because I've got some more of these upstairs, and they're really fun to play with. And up here, just got some more huge pots, rheostats, circuit breakers, and this is one of my favorite things in here. Let me put the tripod down. Huge 208-volt variac. What's it rated for? The current, input volts 240, and the current is 28 volts, or 28 amps maximum. And it's really big ass heavy duty stuff when you've got a steering wheel instead of a knob. Look at that thing. I could play with this all day. Over here now, we've got mostly resistors, big power resistors, some smaller resistor boxes up there. Got some more pots right here, big power things, awesome huge resistors down here, like this one. Look at that, It's got a steel rod through the middle, of course, but the insulating material is all mica. Nothing but individual sheets of mica all stacked on each other like that. This one is rated 1.00 ohms. Don't know how many watts, but I'm sure it's going to be a few hundred. On this one right next to it, some power supplies, 5 volt, 24 volt, just some extra power supplies that we have. Some more power resistors and 3-phase variac there. Some more resistor stuff. And we got some 3-phase contactors, and then finally some more variacs on the top. And then this other rack over here, that's nothing but wire and cable, thick and thin, magnet wire, enamel insulated, thick rubber, PVC insulation, whole bunch of different stuff up there. And then the last rack back there, that's a whole bunch of power supplies that we got from Phoenix Contact. They donated all these 24 volt power supplies to us of various current capacities, and they really filled up an entire rack. It's nothing but power supplies on that thing. And what's this mystery thing right in front of it? This is probably my favorite machine in the whole place. It's called the teaching machine. So it's got this handle on it for spinning, and apparently, I've never actually done it yet, but I think you plug it in, and then that'll of course energize some coils in here, and then once you spin it, you can make it act like a generator, and lights up the light bulb here, and it's got all these meters on here for measuring the voltage and the current, switches for different settings. Really awesome stuff. I can't wait to try it out. So that's the basement storage room, W7.5, and it's going to be a real bitch to move all this stuff because, man, there's a lot of it. And any normal person, I think, would have gotten rid of a lot of these things a long time ago, but I just love to play around with this stuff. It's so awesome. So thanks for watching. See you later. I'll meet you back upstairs in my next video where we continue looking at all the stuff in my lab space up there in the equipment room. See you later.